He'd always managed a few lines about the groundbreaking work he was engaged in. Pompous and peculiar, Willi thought, though he couldn't say he knew the fellow well, despite their long mutual acquaintance with Fritz. Essler'd been on the French front, too. After the war, he'd gone from wearing a standard black patch over the eye he'd lost at Verdun to a sterling silver plate fastened on with leather straps, polished so brightly that when you spoke to him, you couldn't help noticing the strange reflection always shining back at you, of yourself. "And your point with that enchanting vignette?" the Baroness smiled irritably. "Are you implying the difference between virtue and vice is relative, Doctor?" Von Hessler opened his palms in a gesture of regret. Just then, Willi spotted Vicky across the table, eyeing him from beneath her brown fringe of bangs. Dear Lord, he thought, busted in mid-yawn. When she'd cocked her head, as if to inquire if he was okay, he felt a pang of guilt. Generally, he told her all about his latest cases, but not this time. When it came to children, she got too upset. So he telegraphed her a reassuring wink and returned his attention to the party. Of all those on hand to celebrate Fritz's birthday, Willi wanted to be here even less than the Baroness, he was sure. Not that he didn't love Fritz. He'd do anything for his old army pal, even attend this vacuous review on a work night. But Fritz was an aristocrat, and as glad as Willi was to know him, their friendship was a historical fluke. Willi accepted it as such. It wasn't Fritz, but his choice of entertainment, this insidious melange of sugar and excrement that was getting under Willi's skin. And not because he was law enforcement either. No law forbid raunchy burlesque to benefit a foundling hospital. It just rubbed him the wrong way. After all he'd seen this morning. A night of flooding rain had turned up a real horror show half an hour east of here, out in industrial Lichtenberg. At the bottom of a construction pit, a burlap sack was regurgitated, apparently, by a massive backup in the sewer system. By the time he'd arrived, a score of people must have been staring at the spilled contents. Truly a spectacle. Bones. Nearly 24 of them. Not just loose, but arranged, singled out by size and shape, bound together into what could only be termed designs. Arm and leg bones fashioned almost like bouquets of flowers, toe and finger bones strung with some sort of sinewy thread into what might have been jewelry. Small lumbar vertebrae bored through with little holes. Willi had never seen nor heard of anything like this. Even after a cursory exam, the pathologist, Dr. Hoffnung, had said the bones were almost definitely human, and most definitely not adult. Children's bones by size and density, boys' bones according to pelvic structure, 4 or 5 different boys in all. Willi squirmed in his seat. As the school mistress and her students bowed to a storm of applause, ending a skit titled Lessons Well Learned, his hands clapped along mechanically. 3 years on the Western Front, 7 in Kripo, Berlin's diligent Kriminalpolizei. No one could say he hadn't seen his fair share of lunacy. But bone art? Next on hand to support the lost children of Berlin, the conferencier's voice rang through the theater. The best-looking, best-drilled ladies in town. 64 magnificent legs tapped across the stage in perfect columns, dancing in syncopated rhythm to a piece titled Mass Production. 32 lissome figures in skimpy halter tops, white short shorts, lacy ankle socks, glittering high heels. The Admiral's Palace is thrilled to present our very own Tiller Girls. 1, 2, 3, los, they screamed.